So I'm not quite sure how to do this review. Was it a dumb criminal or a dumb episode? Or was it a dumb episode with a dumb criminal? I'm confused. Welcome to a brand new review of Major Crime Season 2, Episode 7, titled Rules of Engagement. I'm very sorry for having a late review. I was covering Comic-Con last week and I got in on Sunday and I was supposed to do the review on Monday and I was exhausted, so that didn't happen. But here we are, and here's my review of the episode. So as usual, before we jump into what worked and what didn't work, let's talk about the story first. The story of this episode is a little bit convoluted, so hang on with me. Years ago, guy number 1 decides to have his fiancée killed. He hires guy number 2 to do so while he's overseas. And years later, guy number 2, who went to jail for something completely different, comes out of jail, and guy number 1 decides to kill him, but not in the most simple way. He decides to have a drive-by shooting to try and hide his crime. Unfortunately, he didn't count on Raider and her team, who essentially unmasked his plan and got him in the end. So now that that convoluted story is over, back to what worked. What worked in this episode were mostly scenes and moments. Moment number 1, the beginning. That scene where the dad is with his son and they're pumping gas, that's sort of like life scene, and you and I know that something's gonna happen. Tragedy does happen. It was well done, it was intense, it was emotional, it was a really good opening. It actually gave me a lot of hope for me enjoying this episode. I was wrong. We'll get back to that later. Another moment that I enjoyed was when Rusty was trying to get out of going to see Chris, his girlfriend, friend, or whatever the heck, and Provenza essentially telling him that, you know, you're doing what essentially your mom did to you your entire life. That moment, man, that was good. Also, Julio blowing up was scary. I gotta say, I love it when Julio gets mad. No one gets mad like Julio gets mad, so that was a good moment. That was a very good moment of just intensity, and I loved how he was just blowing up, and it was really, really good. Except for one little thing, which we'll talk about in what didn't work. Oh wait, let's talk about what didn't work. First off, why on earth would you have Julio being puppy love eyes for like 4 or 5 episodes, and in one episode goes cuckoo bananas, aggressive, mad against the prosecutor, Emma? Where did that come from? He was all lovey-dovey, and then he's like, don't treat me like a waiter. What the heck was that? It felt like there was no progression. It went from lovey-dovey, super freaking aggressive. That made no sense. No sense at all. In other news that doesn't really make a lot of sense, Sharon's husband becoming a public defender for a suspect was mind-blowingly, ridiculously unbelievable. There is no scenario in which the chief of a police department of any sort can hire their spouse to represent one person that they're trying to get information from, or that might be guilty of something else. The conflict of interest is massively huge. Now, if this stuff exists in real life, I apologize. I didn't know. I personally think it shouldn't, because there's no way this is not a conflict of interest. And guess what? It didn't quite work out because it was a massive conflict of interest. That was too much. But all those moments pale in comparison with apparently the dumbest criminal to ever walk the earth. The suspect. The guy who did the drive-by shooting. Okay, let's think about his thinking right now. So, years ago he's like fighting with his fiancée and she leaves him and she takes a ring worth $65,000. So what does he do? He decides to call a gang member and tell him, hey, you know what? Go kill my fiancée, get her ring that's worth a lot of money, and send that to me. I trust you. You didn't trust him that much? I mean, if you trusted him enough to have him send $65,000 worth of ring, why on earth, when that same guy comes out of jail, do you want to kill him? And the way you decide to kill him is by doing a drive-by shooting, killing innocent people that had nothing to do with this. When you could have just gone, killed him, and no one, and I repeat this, no one would have suspected you. Dumbest criminal alive, which brings me to dumbest moment of the episode, which is a dumb episode. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call it what it is. Because of that single thing, it just made the entire episode worthless. I'm sorry, I never get this mad about an episode. I never get this upset about something, but come on. Why on earth would you do that? Why on earth would you write a character so completely flawed that you're like, oh yeah, some people would do that. People would absolutely trust the guy to mail a ring, but when the guy comes out of jail, I don't trust him. I'm gonna shoot him. Made no sense. Whew. That was emotional. That was unexpected, guys. I did not think I was gonna be so pissed off about it, but I guess I was. So that's what I thought of the episode. Clearly, some good moments, but fundamentally, didn't like this episode. I want to forget it. But before I forget, I want to hear what you thought of this episode. Comment below and let me know. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. And if you want more TV news and TV content, make sure to visit us at tvequals.com. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, bye. Did I go too far? Was I too ranty on this one? I feel like I was ranty on this one. I don't know. Maybe I was. Screw it. I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it. It's happening. It happened. There you go.